right, in this video we've got a scenario where we've got a CSV or a couple of CSVs that are in the wrong coordinate system zone. So in this example, the CSV is in Texas South Central, but the intention was for it to be in Texas South. So what we need to do to fix it using Business Center is open up a new blank Business Center project like you see here, and then we need to import the data. Now, I think it's best to set your coordinate system first in TBC to what the expected system is. So at the bottom of my screen, I'm going to say default to the right of grid. That's going to open up the coordinate system section, hit change. And we're going to put it in the desired system. So Texas South is what we want it to be in. However, the CSV is not in that zone. I'm going to quickly open the CSV so you can see. Here we go. These look like some centerline points with no elevations, and we see the northing, the easting elevation, and these are centerline points. I'm going to close this, just verifying that there was no headers. And instead of dragging and dropping, you want to go home, import, and then we want to point to this CSV. But at this point, this is relatively new in the last 6 months, since about, I think, December or November of 25 this came out. You can select the coordinate system. So you're now telling Business Center what is the incoming system. So we know the incoming system is incorrect. So we're going to say South Central, since we know that's what it actually is in. So now we're going to say finish, we're going to say import, and then we're going to choose our definition, which would be PNEZC, Point Northing Easting Elevation Code. In this case, I'm going to say unknown. I don't care about it being control quality. I just want to get them in here. So I'll say import. And now these points are in here. Now, obviously, I could turn on the base map to kind of get some confidence as to did this fall in the right spot. But also, if I go to home and then in the data category, go to my point spreadsheet, that's going to tell me for certain, right? So now I can compare the coordinates in the CSV before we brought it in to the coordinates in Trimble Business Center. The only difference you're seeing here is that in TBC settings, we're listing northing easting first in the spreadsheet and not in the CSV. But if you look at the coordinates, right, they're different out to about 20 or 30 feet on the easting, and then on the northing, significantly even more different, right? So we have different coordinates, which is what we would expect to see. And so the final piece to resolve this would be to either export, or you could literally take this point spreadsheet, Control A, Control C, open up Excel on your computer, paste in the file in a new document, and then save as a CSV, which is what I'm going to do in this case. So now I've got these coordinates saved. And remember, this is northing easting elevation. And so I could do a save as, specify where I want to place this. Go ahead and do that. And we'll make this a CSV, comma delimited. And we'll call this CL, right? And you see that those coordinates are different, right? 137.8 versus, if I say don't save, what was in the spreadsheet before. And as a final test, what we could do is we could go back to the plan view. We could go to Texas South here, right? Change it to South Central just to see the coordinates change. Once we hit OK, go into the point spreadsheet, and you notice that those numbers likely match what we have in the CSV, the original CSV. And you can kind of see it here, 1306.3512.3661, and then right here, 105.008, right, 0079. So hopefully that's helpful, kind of showing how we can go between coordinate systems if maybe the CSV you've received or generated from a CAD team did it in the wrong zone. 2 different ways to do it. Open Business Center, start a new blank project, and set your coordinate system to the expected outcome. Then point to the CSV with home import, and then say select coordinate system and choose what it actually is in. And then we either select everything in the point spreadsheet after we verify that the coordinates changed, copy, paste into a new Excel document, or we go home, export, CSV, and that's a way to handle that.
Thanks again for joining us for another AllTerra Central technical video. Until next time.